Hi, Screen Junkies. I got to go to London for a really rapid-fire trip to talk to Tom Cruise and Doug Liman about their movie American Made. As it turns out, they actually lived together in the jungle during the making of the movie, and though they make really fun films together, it's a little trickier when it comes to living. So we talked to them about that, about Tom doing his own stunts, about sort of what they were going after with this character. It's a dark story, but a really fun ride. Check it out. I have to say, there's such a sense of vitality and joy in this performance. And I was on this ride where I didn't know from one minute to the next if he was a genius or had no clue what he was doing.
That's exactly what we wanted you to feel. I think that's both. He had no clue, and he was an incredible pilot and an adventurer. But as it said, he was not thinking things out quite thoroughly.
Well, that's for the damage. And here's a little something extra for your sister. Hey, little darling. And you're back. You never saw me.
But he just, everyone you meet that talks about him, you know, I mean, everyone talked about what a great pilot he was and what his personality, just everyone liked him. The DEA liked him, like people from the DEA.
This is a guy who, while he was flying for the CIA, became the largest drug smuggler, one of the largest drug smugglers in American history. Really, the last American cowboys were pilots like Barry Seal in the 80s.
The stuff that they were doing, you can't do that today. That kind of story, you just can't,
Couldn't get away with it
no,
today.
they could not get away with that today. Both of us are pilots also, so we have a real investment in the story and the authenticity of the flying.
And we wanted to do car chases with airplanes.
Yeah.
No one's ever done that before.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were looking like.
We
How do
looked
we
at
do
things
a car
like
chase?
Smokey and the Bandit, and we're like, how do you get away from the DEA in an airplane? And we had a great source material because Barry Seal got away with it for years.
I feel like that's part of the catharsis as an audience member. You are so joyful when you're flying and you're actually flying. Are there stunts that they just absolutely wouldn't let you do?
Look, they didn't want us going out into the jungle of Colombia, Doug.
Yeah.
We found a great runway out there, and we saw
nothing
the
else,
photos
just a
of it.
dirt airstrip in the middle of nowhere.
All the areas just beautiful that, you see us flying over the kind of waterfalls and in the canyons.
But we would
And
have to camp out there. There's no roads, there's nothing
No
there.
hotel.
And they're like, Tom Cruise can't camp in
Yes.
the middle of the rainforest, 3 hours from the closest road. Like,
What'd they say? There's snakes, there's...
One of the producers trying to convince Tom not to go, and they send this photo of what's actually out there in the jungle. They sent a picture of the Colombian jaguar. They said it's the apex predator. It's a man-eater. And Tom said, I can't wait to meet him.
We literally went out and bought the camping gear at a store, flew out the next day, had fuel flown in, and Doug and I just slept in tents. We had to go into the jungle at night, to get...
And like forage for firewood.
Forage for firewood. It was really,
But that was the thing, the making of the film was an adventure.
Yeah.
It really was,
I mean, Doug,
Tom
me,
and I
and the
both
writer
drawn to
all lived
adventure.
together.
It was
I
an
think-
odd couple situation, yeah.
Yeah,
It was
like...
he's a little neat for my taste.
Look, he's very messy. That's ridiculous. I'm not so neat. You're just so extremely messy that I look neat compared to you.
And it was, we...
Anyway, so we flew out to the jungle.
But the whole, every aspect of making this film was an adventure, and just,
We want that to imbue into the story.
ATF, drop your weapons!
Guns, drugs, money laundering? Well, you hit to trifecta, didn't you?
it was a story I knew firsthand because my father ran the investigations of these events for the Senate, and as deadly serious as it was, he always used to chuckle about this sort of rebel army in South America that couldn't shoot straight, and nobody having the guts to tell President Reagan what was really happening.
Do you worry that people like the CIA would say, this is being celebratory, or...
It's a movie, in the same way that you look at Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Enormously entertaining film, very layered, very skillfully made. And you look at the spirit of this film, which is enormously entertaining, and the life that he led, it's a part in our history, of our time period, the late 70s and 80s. It's a vibrant time.
And Butch and Sundance is a good reference because, the kind of flying that you could do in the 80s, not possible today. I always sort of had a sense of humor in my mind when I thought about this story. And Tom is such an amazing comedian. It's in a way, this connects probably has most in common not with Top Gun, sort of the anti-Top Gun, because the airplanes are crappier and the characters is a little crappier. It's not as heroic as Top Gun, but but really risky business. You remember, like Tom became a movie star, playing a high schooler who starts a brothel.
Is there, I mean, you bring that up, and you guys I know are returning. I cannot wait to see Live, Die, Repeat, and Repeat, because I loved Edge of Tomorrow.
He's incredible.
Is there another iconic character from his history that you guys would love to re-team on?
I think we want to, I think it's creating different ones. I mean, the thing I love about Doug's work is he's constantly, even the prequel to Edge will be totally different than Edge. It's going to be a different movie, but you look at how Doug pushes himself in all of his films.
People think of Tom being fearless, because of the stunts hanging off the sides of airplanes, but like he's really fearless when it comes to taking on roles like Barry Seal, that are like just outside, the brand of Tom Cruise, right? Because I mean, you think about Tom Cruise, it's like
the brand.
You really are. I mean, you're like, you're somewhere.
I know that's such a modern term. Hearing you say it,
but it's somewhere between Coca-Cola and like Vodafone, and like if you tried to get Coca-Cola to be like, hey, do you mind if Barry Seal is drinking a Coke while he's doing one of these CIA runs? And they'd be like, no, we don't want to be associated with Barry Seal, but Tom Cruise is willing to go play Barry Seal.
Well, thank you for continuing to get original movies made, because that's so important.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Go check out American Made. It's actually a really fun movie. You can also like and subscribe and talk to us on Twitter. And I will leave us with this. Tom Cruise liked my hair. See, Mom? See?
Like your hair.
Thank you.
That is really cool. It is really cool.
I just did it.
I love it.
So it's still sort of one of those things, and I'm like, who are you in the mirror?
It's fun.
Thank you.
Really fun.
Thank you. That was the goal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was great.
That's good. It is.